You're listening to the Artist King podcast.
This is DTM of DeltaTangoMike.com, and this is the Artist King podcast, episode number 81, featuring the artist interview with Shanequa Gay. Please take the time to download the Artist King podcast in your favorite platform and listen anytime. We would like to hear your opinions and suggestions, so please direct your comments to dtm@artistking.org. The Artist King podcast is available on iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher, and ArtistKingArchive.com. Shanequa Gay has been recently selected as an artist in studio with the Creatives Project, where she will enjoy working with other artists in a 2-year residency program. Shanequa has been focused on her art career full-time with art exhibits, group shows, paintings, prints, and is always open to lending some advice and sharing resources to those who ask. Shanequa was a panelist for one of our Artist King discussions at Burnaway. Follow her online and social medias under Shanequa Gay and ShanequaGay.com. The Artist King podcast is made possible by the support of our sponsors. You can find them on the partners page at artistking.org, and they include the law offices of Deborah Gonzalez Esquire, VelocityScreenPrint.net, RevolveSkate.com, Old Hub at Giant, Southside Sickest, Mix Manny Beats, The Biz Garage, Supernova South, Mr. E the Motivator, DJ Osmos, and Sharpie Slam 2015. The biggest, baddest art event of the year is coming Wednesday, October 7, 6 to 9 p.m. 6 teams go toe-to-toe and only one will be crowned ATL Supreme Champ. Tickets now available at supernovasouth.org. Now on to our Artist King artist interview with Shanequa Gay. Please tell us your name and where you're from.
My name is Shanequa Gay, and I am from Atlanta, Georgia.
Really?
Yes, I'm a Georgian. The only one.
The only one?
Yeah.
You know, we've had a rash of local ATL artists born and raised here recently. Yeah. You're part of that small number.
A very small number.
Mm-hmm. And what part of town did you grow up in?
Let's see. Part of my life, I grew up in Atlanta, and then College Park, and then the remainder, Riverdale, Georgia.
Okay. All right. And what high schools did you go to?
Riverdale High School.
Oh, okay. So, on the outside a little bit. Yeah. So, do you recall the first beginnings of your interaction with art, and what was that like?
I recall my first interactions through storytelling. So my mother tells me that I used to draw on her walls a lot as a child. And so my first, official masterpiece was through feces. I had taken my urine and my boo-boo and put it on her wall. And she was like, that girl gonna do something with her life. So,
That's it, huh?
yeah, that's it. So
like, don't throw this away. Hold on, I got some ideas.
Yes.
Let me put it on the wall for you real quick.
Yeah.
And then, did people encourage your artistic creativity?
All throughout my life. So from my parents to my godparents to my grandfather, I was always encouraged, always given crayons, markers, and stuff like that. I think when my parents really caught on to the fact that I was creative, I was always, coloring books and stuff like that. But they used to, how you get punished and sent to your room.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents had punished me, sent me to my room. And so I drew on the walls while I was in my room. And so they noticed I had gotten real quiet. Wasn't saying anything. And so when they came in my room, they saw I had drawn on the walls. And my mother couldn't get mad at me because she felt like it was just so beautiful. And so then they was like, well, let's put in some classes. Let's do something with this. Instead of punishing, they molded. And so that makes the difference.
Yes.
That makes the difference.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I have a younger brother who I grew up with. I now, through my mother's second marriage, have stepbrothers and sisters. But from, birth to my brother's 27 years, I grew up with my brother.
Nice. Does he have talent?
He did. My brother passed away in 2008. He did. So his talent was basketball. He was a ridiculous b-ball player. So I could draw basketballs, but I Athletics was not necessarily my thing. I tried out for track, but solely because I was trying to flirt with a guy. And once we started going out, I quit track.
You got what you wanted.
I got what I wanted, and I was a drill team captain.
Nice.
In high school. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did any other family members have talent? Did they create?
You know what? It was a crazy thing. I didn't find out till like a couple of years later that my great grandfather, he was a photographer, and he also did a lot of pyrography, a lot of wood burning, and he was extremely creative. My mother has these wood boxes that he made. All of my family on my mother's side are like carpenters and things like that. My great grandmother was a quilter. And so those are kind of like the creative aspects. And it's like, as I look at my work now, it's like, it makes sense. Because like I build my wood panels. When I look at my collage pieces, it looks like my great grandmother's quilts. So
wow.
Yeah, so I get to see kind of how it all interconnects.
Nice, nice. So you're a child, and your parents are encouraging you to try out some art. And do you take art classes in school?
Yeah, not in school. So my mother got private classes for me through our church. There was a gentleman that was giving private art classes. Nice. And so I went to him for a couple of years before I got into high school. And from elementary, a little bit of middle school on into high school, I have some private classes.
So did you create a large body of work? What was the concentration on? Did you experiment?
Mostly experimentation. Taught me the core things I guess I quote unquote was not getting in elementary school. So like shading, lighting, understanding the figure and the body. Took us out. So, exposure always makes the difference. So possible exposure that I may or may not have been getting in school, I got it through my art teacher.
Nice. And did you, trying out all these things, did you think of it as a pastime, a hobby, or did you know that there were people?
It was a way to make money. So
okay.
I figured that out very early on in life. So my mother still has a friend who I used to make these little note cards from Looney Tune characters. And so when I was probably about maybe 5 or 6 years old, I used to sell those for $0.25. And a friend of my mother's, I'm in my 30s now, so a friend of my mother's still has those because she was like, that girl gonna do something with her life.
Wow.
I used to, back in the day, especially 80s, early 90s, I used to draw on pants, used to draw on jackets. That was the way I made money. And then you know how during school you used to have to do your your posters. If your teacher gave you a project, you had these huge poster boards. So my friends used to pay me to do their poster boards. So I learned very early on that this was a means to make money. I did feel like I had some discouragement at times because it was always that starting artist thought process, and that was a difficult thing to get a hump over. That this wasn't a real means to make money. That I needed to look at it as a hobby. That it was not. I didn't get that from my parents, but other members of my family kind of discouraged that. It's not real. It's not a real job.
Right.
Artists really. Yeah. What?
They don't make money. Artists don't make money.
Artists starve. Kind of that thought process, having to retrain my own thought process that was not the truth. That if I hustle just as much as other people do, because 9-to-5s are not guaranteed, we see that now more than ever. That's not a guaranteed way to make funds, and maybe it's a false thought process of security. Job life. So I had to get over that hump, that I could make money, that it did not have to be a hobby, but it took time to get there. It took time to get there.
So you had that in your mind that you wanted to make money. You were making money.
I was making money, but I was told that it would not secure me for a lifelong future. Right.
So what were your plans then when it came to art after high school? Were you planning on going to art school, college?
Did. So I initially had gotten accepted to the Savannah College of Art and Design, but because of family reasons and some other personal aspects that were going on, I did not want to go off to Savannah. So I went to the Art Institute of Atlanta. I went for graphic design and fashion marketing and finished up. And so in that, mostly in doing both fields, I've only worked as a graphic designer. So I've done mostly freelance work from that. In my then marriage to my ex-husband, he was always encouraging my fine art craft. He was always, very like, Niqua, you good, you should try, pushing forward toward this, that, or third. But even then, I still kind of felt like I questioned myself. So it was great to have it on my walls, but not to have it out in public. And so a turning point for me, although my ex-husband and I, we separated or whatever, a turning point for me was that I was tired of it just being a hobby. I was tired of my friends coming over and like, it would be really great if you go show this outside of your home. And so I had a girlfriend of mine who was in the marketing field, and she had a real long sit down with me and was like, so when are you going to stop with this hobby business and really try to push towards the craft? And so she made me do a very hard, difficult thing, which is to do a business plan, because I, as an artist and creative, whole paperwork and math, I didn't want to do that, but it made all the difference to sit down and write a business plan for myself, because when I wrote that business plan, it's like it opened all kind of doors for me. It really it took me steps and steps closer to something I didn't even know was possible. So I met a local artist here named Doyle Cloyd over off of Bankhead Highway, which was at that point in time was very, very popular amongst the print life or whatever. And so I had met him, and he introduced me to several artists around Atlanta, introduced me to galleries, and helped me put my foot in the door, and helped me woke me up to like, you can make money. In meeting Doyle, I started doing kind of commission print work for a local distributor, and over the summer, probably within the course of 3 months' time, I had made $20,000, and it scared me half to death. Wow! It scared me. It worked. Yeah, it's like, I don't have to work for people. Like that really like woke me up. It's like, oh my God, you can make money. But of course, it was during that time. It wasn't just from the introductions that Doyle gave to me, but several that he connected me to, and that all collaborated over the summer in me making a substantial amount of money. And so,
wait, did you have a job at that time?
I did.
What were you doing?
I was working. What was I doing? I was still working as a substitute art teacher for Fulton County Schools.
Okay.
For Fulton County Schools, and so I've always kept a side job. But I see my artwork as my main job, and anything else I do is my side. I think differently. But you always want to have a constant stream of income coming in. Yeah.
So those connections and things. How long ago was that? How long has it been since you saw that light?
10 years.
Wow.
10 years I woke up. Yeah, 10 years. It kind of, not to say I haven't had ebbs and flows. The whole world has, especially us here in the United States. We've all had ebbs and flows because the situation with the economy has changed for all of us. Anytime the real estate gets hit, art gets hit, because people don't have nowhere to put themselves. They definitely don't have where to put their art. And so, it's definitely taught me some survival skills and basics, but it's been a good thing.
Nice. Yes. So when the fine art that you had in your home, that people, your friends and family were looking at, when you finally broke it out, what was some of that like? What was it that you were painting? What was your interest and passion about it?
At that time, I was painting mostly these little small figurines that I had done as small sketches. So I was mostly a pencil realist artist throughout high school and definitely on into college. Mostly just did pencil, black and white. But a friend of mine, Neil Bridges, who is the owner of 595 North, at that time, he saw my little sketch pieces, and he was like, this is what's going to help you like move forward. This is what people want. This is, although it's simple, it was very happy. And he was right. He was right. People like simple, happy stuff. Uncomfortable but realist thing that Gilbert Young told me. He was like, people like your work because it's simple shit. They don't have to, they don't have to think about it when they look at it, and that's why they like it. That's why they always find it, because it's simple. And at first, it was like, oh, you hurt my ego, you tripping. But I had to really sit and think about what